My name is Alma Hopkins, and today I'm going to discuss with you an article from the Journal of Research in Math Education entitled, "How Can I Help My Students with Learning Disabilities in Mathematics?" It's by Gracia Jiménez-Fernández from the University of Granada in Spain. What are learning disabilities in math? According to the author, a significant percentage of students consider mathematics a complicated subject and consequently show a certain lack of interest in it. Nevertheless, some children find more difficulties in the field than expected, and these children are considered to have learning disabilities in math, or LDM. The author defines dyscalculia as difficulties in the production or understanding of quantities, numerical symbols, or basic arithmetic operations. The prevalence is considered to be about 6%, and its symptoms become evident in about the second grade of elementary education. The condition is a brain-based disorder with a familial genetic predisposition. Many people who suffer with this condition are of average or above average intelligence, yet they find it difficult to estimate distance, size, or even to tell time. These children, those with dyscalculia and other LDMs, require adaptive instruction. Children with LDM can learn basic concepts needed to form the firm foundation on which to build more advanced concepts, but research shows it takes them nearly twice as long as the average student to acquire the knowledge. Consequently, the learning processes of the students require additional and specific teaching methodologies. Learning disabilities in math and dyscalculia have not been areas that have received a lot of research attention, so they haven't been thoroughly researched. What research has been done indicates that successful instruction includes practice based on cognitive psychology and neuroscience. Unfortunately, most of the research has been on what areas students need support with, but not on how to provide that support to students. Foundational knowledge. Foundational knowledge in mathematics includes numerical sense, basic arithmetic operations, and problem solving. The fields are considered to follow a pyramidal structure with number sense as the base, where the learning practices of basic arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and problem solving stand. Moreover, these specific fields of knowledge within mathematics are influenced by various cognitive processes such as attention, memory, language knowledge, and basic concepts. Number sense is the first skill a child needs to develop, and it's often learned incidentally through interactions in a child's daily life. Development of this concept can be influenced directly by a child's personal experiences at home, at play, or in the classroom. Exposure and opportunities to explore can have an important impact on how quickly a child develops a sense of numeracy, mental arithmetic, and estimation. For children with LDM, this incidental learning may never occur, so they require explicit instruction. As the skill is the basis upon which all other mathematical concepts are founded, it's a critical skill for all children. Many experts believe that other problems in math derive from the child never developing a firm foundation in number sense. So the author recommends using research-based strategies. Children with LDM will not automatically advance to the next mathematic concept once they develop an understanding of number sense. They require continued explicit instruction using concrete objects and practical applications that they can relate to real-life experiences. For example, they may not be able to solve a simple division problem, but they might not have any trouble at all dividing cookies equally among friends. They also demonstrate confusion in the order of operations and may attempt to solve problems from right to left. Because of the nature of LDMs, these children should not be introduced to new concepts until they have a firm foundation in the previous concepts. Error analysis should be a key component of instruction because these students do not make mistakes by chance or as a result of lack of attention. Mistakes are made because of a breakdown in understanding of the process of the specific mathematical component, be it addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or the use of fractions. I found this article to be both interesting and valuable. Understanding that students who struggle in math may not understand the current concept because they never got the foundational knowledge needed to move forward is helpful. When I was in 3rd grade, I got pneumonia and I missed several weeks of school. Antibiotics back then were not what they are today. Never having the firm foundation and understanding of the key concept of multiplication that was taught during my absence, I struggled with math for years. In my case, it was not a neurological deficit, but it was lack of exposure during a key moment in time. So as a result, I hated math and I thought I was never going to be good at it. It was years before I realized that I could go back and relearn what I had missed. So imagine how, if it was that difficult for me, how difficult it would be for a child who sat through the lessons but didn't learn them because they didn't yet have a firm grasp of the foundational knowledge they needed to build on this new concept. So, the author talks about error analysis and how important it is, and I do believe that error analysis is important because it provides the teacher with the tools to help the student. If a teacher understands where the breakdown in learning has occurred, appropriate supports can be planned. The article states that there are 7 common errors that these children tend to make. The first one is borrowing from another operation. This mistake indicates that the child has not understood correctly the place value of numbers or the steps to follow in order to do an operation. The second one is replacement in the process. Errors are due to the substitution of one or several steps of the algorithm for another that has been made up or is wrong. The third mistake is omissions. The error comes after the omission of any of the steps of an algorithm. The child does not invent it, or they just forget it. Direction, errors in the order or direction of the proceedings. They start from left to right, even though the computation is correct. Place value, the calculation is right, but the student changes the place of the elements when they're writing out the operation. Number 6 is operational symbols. The error is due to a wrong interpretation of the operational symbol, or they just simply ignore the sign. They see the sign, it doesn't register, and they don't use it. And then there's guessing. There are some times when errors do not follow any logical explanation. So once you've figured out where the child is struggling, then you can design appropriate instruction. The area of the article that talked about the providing appropriate instruction was, to me, the most helpful part. It provided a list of components to consider when planning instruction. Those components included the use of contexts that simulate problems and arithmetic operations relevant to their daily life. Procedures that include guidance by direct demonstration along with verbal instructions and/or consecutive attempts by the child with feedback, the assurance that all necessary previous knowledge is well developed before starting to learn a new concept or new content, always including scaffolding, teaching practices of the content using a multi-sensory approach, a learning process built on sequences which go from abstract to concrete things, and then including from time to time review exercises which represent varied topics and different situations so that the child can fully master the ability. The suggestion of individual assignments to support specific difficulties, and then giving extra time to solve mathematical tasks at home and at school, since children with LDM have not yet automated the basic processes. So how can all this knowledge help us in the classroom? When it becomes clear that a student is struggling in math, supports can be put in place. Students can begin to receive small group instruction that addresses the areas that they're struggling in. Most of the suggested supports are very similar to the way children are taught in the lower grades. They use concrete objects. Those are a key component of instruction in kindergarten and first grade. Knowing that some students take longer than others to develop a deep understanding of concepts, those students can be given extra support in the form of the concrete objects and also using task-based learning. Students may need the same type of accommodations given to students who struggle in reading, such as more time to complete tasks or working with a partner for additional support. Finding ways to integrate real-life applications into learning experiences will help all the students to see the value and useful nature of mathematics while supporting those who struggle with more abstract concepts. I think the suggestions in the article are immediately applicable, and although I do not teach math right now, I believe integrating math strategies into reading lessons and other subject areas will offer these students who struggle additional opportunities to practice basic skills. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a very blessed day.